And I know, Ms. Torres, you live in District 4?
Actually, I live in District 2.
District 2 now, because we moved you in. We said, come over here, be part of District 2. So, you know, I guess we'll make, and you've already seen this presentation, correct? Have you seen anything of it?
I saw the council, the one that was the presentation of the budget to the council. I watched that on YouTube.
Okay, well, I'm going to kind of go off a script here. I don't know what they have in mind, simply because the most important thing is we want to answer your questions. So, first of all, I want to thank all the staff and all the hard work they put into this. I mean, it's just, I can't imagine having to put together a $1.4 million budget. So I just want to extend my appreciation to all the work that you guys do. You know, you guys make me look good for individuals like Mrs. Perron and Ms. Torres, who, if for anybody that doesn't know, I know Robert, you met her the other day. She's the one that puts on the soccer program. She does a lot over at Salinas Park, and we need more lighting over there. I didn't mention that today, but we need more lighting over there. She's tugged on me to make sure that we get that. So that's something that Ms. Torres, Neiman is right in front of you. That Neiman, Dr. What is it? He's probably be the one to talk to, because he'll put that budget together in the coming years, unless we can figure out a way to finagle him to do it sooner. Okay, but by the soccer fields, that's her interest. So we'll visit on that. Yeah. So anyway, and we can chat about that as well later. But and like I said, I see a lot of staff here, and I can't tell you enough. And Mrs. Dodd, thank you for coming. Anyway, so I just want to tell you again personally, and I know there's times some of you I've been very hard on, in particular Peter. What is it? My son says, "Well, that's the way you love Dad." So what is it? And Neiman, I've had some few choice words from him, and then also with Michael. What is it? So I appreciate you guys. I just want to express that. I also want to thank my colleagues that are here. What is it? John Martinez, at-large councilman. So let's give him a hand. What is it? And then Mr. Michael Hunter, who sits right next to me also. Let's give him a hand. Thank you for coming. And Ben Molina is on his way. So I guess one of the things that I guess I want to be able to get to the public's question. All right, we have another constituent in here. Well, and a candidate also. I'm sorry, I shouldn't probably be saying that. But Rachel Caballero, who's obviously very outspoken, so we want to get to her questions. So unless you have another deal, I think, and Peter, I'll let you introduce yourself as well. I'm sorry, but everybody knows who you are. But I would think that maybe we just go straight into the video, and then we can go straight to questions.
I'll just say hi to the Facebook.
Yeah, you know what, and I'll say something for Facebook here. So.
Okay, good, all right.
What is it? But
Two things, well, let's do Gabby, we're gonna get Gabby to talk as well on Spanish translation, unless you can do that too. Okay, can you? Spanish translation? Okay, all right, good. Okay, I just want to double check. Okay, good. Well, good evening, everybody. I'm Peter Zanoni, the city manager for the city of Corpus Christi. The councilman has done a great introduction. We're in City Council District 3, so this is our third community budget meeting with the community. We have two more next week, Districts 4 and then Districts 5. So we're not going to belabor the point. We do have two videos after you get through your comments that'll set the framework for the budget and then the bond program as well. The City Council's close to setting a bond proposal to be put on the November ballot of $125 million. 75% goes to streets, and then there's $20 million for parks, 10 for public safety, 2.5 for libraries. So those two videos we have to show. But as Councilman Barrera said, this is about getting input from the community, and so we don't want to take up too much of the time that's allocated for tonight. So let me turn it over to Gabby just to tell about the Spanish translation. She's right behind you. And then we'll turn it back over to you, Councilman, and then we'll show the video.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Gabby.
Y si alguien tiene alguna pregunta en español, quiere realizar alguna pregunta, yo puedo hacer la traducción en inglés. También ofrecemos el mismo servicio en inglés y en español en Facebook. Si alguien tiene preguntas en Facebook, puede realizarlas en español y aquí las hacemos en inglés. Gracias.
All right, man. There's no way I could have done that. So just to kind of highlight a few points here that are either important to me or basically regard to the district. You know, I get called on Airport Road, which is right in front of Salinas Park on a regular basis, and so that was on the last bond election. And so we've got $9.9 million projected to rehab that. and that's going to include sidewalks, guardrail replacement. I believe also it's going to have a bike lane. Gabe, am I correct? Okay, so that's one of the things that I'd particularly ask for, because it's obviously we want to have connectivity to the community, to Salinas Park. And I know we've got another $332,000 in here to do some other work for some playground equipment to clean that up. But, you know, over the course of, if you count this budget, over the course of the last 3 years, we put in almost $2 million into Salinas Park. So we want to make that a regional park. It's something that, you know, there's that old myth, well, they don't do anything on the west side. So this is something that staff and my colleagues and Mr. Ben Molina is here, District 2 Councilman. We announced you earlier, but we said, you're coming, you're on your way. So that just shows a commitment there. You know, a big thing that I'm very passionate about also is water. Which was a contentious issue yesterday because of individuals come in. And I just want to clear things up. You know, we understand that we're in a drought, and it's very important that we're all in this together. And from every component, I made a comment yesterday in council, or Tuesday in council, that my wife's granddaughter, I was having to babysit her for, you know, anyway, and she was brushing her teeth, and the water was just running, you know, and at first she was having an issue finding something, and I said, whoa, 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 and the first thing I thought is, man, she does that at home too, probably. So, you know, there's just simple things like that we just have to be conscientious. A drought is no longer temporary. In California, it's no longer temporary. In Central Texas, it's not temporary. So if we could just change the community standard in that, and to just have that different mindset. You know, I had recommended that we also have some initiatives to incent developers to have more xeriscape that are less water using, and so that's something that it's an initiative that I would hope that we pursue. And the other thing is that there's a concern with industry. Well, industry has already agreed, and they started this 2018. They've imposed themselves an additional surcharge of 25 cents per 1,000 gallons. So that way we can, to prepare for the times like this. And in there, we've already got $16 million, correct me if I'm wrong? So we've got $16 million that industry has already self-imposed, or prepaid a penalty, I should say. Prepaid a penalty, so that way, hopefully, we could get there to where we need to be. The other thing is all our other large water users, such as the city of Beeville, Kingsville, Alice, they also pay an additional fee of 5 cents per 1,000 gallons because they know that we have to prepare for that water resource. So, you know, keep that information in mind, because a lot of people think, well, you know, industry's getting away with it. Well, no. They're paying actually more, and they pay more to subsidize this future water sources for the residential rent payers like you and I, so that way we can ensure that we have that source, and it remains affordable for the residential ratepayer. So I just wanted to kind of stress that, because it's obviously a deal of contention, and I'm always available to answer those questions. So with that, I guess we'll kick off the video. All right, thank you very much.
The City of Corpus Christi proposed a record-setting budget for the fiscal year 2023. This year's $1.4 billion budget will be the city's largest proposed budget to date, focusing on public safety, streets, parks, neighborhoods, and water and wastewater. The proposed budget reflects Corpus Christi's economic growth and continues significant improvements that will keep our community moving forward. Public safety, including law enforcement and the fire department, are at the top of the agenda. The proposed budget addresses Mayor Paulette Guajardo's July 2022 challenge to add 25 additional police officer positions in fiscal year 2023. The budget has similar investments in our fire department by adding 24 more firefighter positions. These additional positions will be the largest amount of public safety officers added in one fiscal year. The budget for the police department includes Bond 2020 funds to build a new training academy at the Del Mar South campus and provide new equipment and vehicles to accommodate the growing department. For the Corpus Christi Fire Department, the budget will provide new equipment and one additional medic unit and construction of a replacement for Fire Station Number 3 on Morgan Avenue. This proposed budget will have the highest amount ever to invest in rebuilding our streets. $136.4 million is projected to go towards roads this year, totaling $336 million spent on rebuilding our streets in the last 3 years. $46.4 million will go to street maintenance, $66 million towards arterials and collectors, and $24 million for residential street reconstruction. These funds also will enhance our Vision Zero program by spending $2.5 million on 5 pedestrian and safety projects to keep our streets safe for both drivers and pedestrians. The main projects include traffic improvements for Castores and Masterson in support of the new Carroll High School, a traffic signal battery backup system, and a high-intensity activated crosswalk signal at Staples and Berry. A 10-year sustainability program is also included in the capital improvements project for Ocean Drive and Shoreline Boulevard from Interstate Highway 37 to Ennis-Jocelyn. This will maintain Ocean Drive through the year 2032 to properly support the city's most iconic street. Infrastructure improvements will also be coming to the downtown area. Water Street will receive $8 million for utility line replacements, with $6.4 million allocated to replace cast iron water pipes and $1.6 million to replace wastewater pipes. To provide efficient street lighting citywide, the Light Up CC initiative will spend $2.1 million to convert over 15,000 streetlights to LED lights. This will create $672,000 per year in energy savings. A significant project to improve roadways will be in Industrial Park in District 5. $4.3 million will reconstruct roadways to help accommodate numerous small local businesses. The city also is proposing new gateway signage for 2 locations entering Corpus Christi and 1 monument sign at Labonte Park. The entry signs will be at Interstate Highway 37 and US 181. This will offer residents and tourists a great first impression when entering our city. Adding amenities to our city parks and beaches is a top priority on this year's proposed budget. $19.7 million will provide park amenities, improvements, and maintenance for parks in all 5 council districts. The main projects include a shade structure for Cole Park Plaza, a new dog park in Flower Bluff, and lighting improvements for Swantner Park. Our beaches will expand on Gulf Beach cleaning and provide more lifeguards, vehicles, and equipment to keep our beaches clean and safe. A new restroom facility will be built on Zahn Road. This facility will provide restrooms, showers, and a new parking lot. Rebuilding North Beach is important to our city's growth. A new design for North Beach Eco Park is proposed in the city's Bond 2022 program. The North Beach initiatives include 4 lifeguards and vehicles for the summer season, a merchant and vendor pilot program, a shade structure at the new History Plaza, and funding towards the restroom, playground, and parking lot improvement project funded from Bond 2020 funds. Water and wastewater will also remain a high priority on this year's budget proposal. $148 million will be invested over the next 3 years to replace and repair water lines citywide. The O.N. Stevens Water Treatment Plant will receive $195 million over the next 3 years, with $55 million in fiscal year 2023 for improvements. All 6 wastewater treatment plants will receive $157 million over the next 3 years for improvements, and lift stations will receive $66 million over the next 3 years. This budget will create the most robust stormwater system in the city's history. In 2022, the city joined other major Texas cities and approved a stormwater maintenance program. The overall goal is to reduce flooding and improve water quality of our bays and creeks. City rates for residential customers will not increase for city property tax rates, water, wastewater, and gas. The proposed rate adjustments will be for a stormwater monthly rate adjustment of $1.57 for a typical residential customer and solid waste services adjustment of $1.15 per month for residential customers. The fiscal year 2023 proposed budget totals $1.4 billion and is scheduled to be adopted by the Mayor and City Council on September 6, 2022, and would take effect on October 1, 2022. For a full list of all fiscal year 2023 proposed budget items, visit cctexas.com/budget2023.
Okay, great. Like we said last night in those famous commercials, this is great, but there's more. So we're going to watch one more video, Right? Yeah, but wait, there's more. So we did put together, we knew we'd have the audience here with us tonight, either in person or on our on our Facebook and other social media. So we have a second video we want to show everybody who's watching, and that's on the city's proposed $125 million bond program that the voters will consider this November. So we're going to show you that video next, and then we'll be ready to take questions and comments from the community.
The Bond 2022 program proposes 32 projects allocating $125 million towards streets, parks, public safety, and libraries. This bond program will be broken down into 4 propositions for voters to pass in the November 8th election. The bond benefits all council districts equally, with each district receiving around 13% of the total funds and about 34% of those funds distributed citywide. All these projects can be accomplished without raising the city property tax rates. Proposition A proposes $92.5 million towards our streets. These projects will reconstruct and rehabilitate 15 different streets citywide. Planned improvements include new asphalt or concrete roadways, upgrades to the city infrastructure, and enhancements to resident safety with the addition of new sidewalks, ADA-compliant curbs, and increased lighting. Proposition B proposes $20 million towards our community parks. With over 11 projects under the proposition, the funds will provide more amenities such as playgrounds, pools, hike and bike trails, and fitness features across the city's community parks. Major projects include new baseball and softball fields located at the Greenwood Sports Complex, the expansion of Labonte Park, and a new competition-sized pool at Bill Witt Park. Proposition C proposes $10 million to enhance public safety. These projects will include 2 new replacement fire stations and 2 police substations to accommodate our growing population. Proposition D proposes $2.5 million to upgrade the La Retama Central Library. This project will be a complete exterior renovation to the library, including new storefront sliding doors, windows, ADA improvements, a new back deck and seating area, and new landscaping and irrigation. Currently, all 42 Bond 2020 projects are in the design phase, in construction, or have been awarded a contract. For more detailed information on the Bond 2022 program, visit cctexas.com/bond2022.
Okay, great. I'm gonna give the microphone to the councilman, but I just want to let everybody know I got a text from the mayor, so she's logged on, watching this remotely. Yes. So with the mayor and Councilman Barrera, who's hosting it, we have several other council members. It just shows the community that the full council cares, and they're excited to go to these community events to hear from the community. So with that, Councilman, I'll turn it over to you.
All right, thank you very much. Now, just another thing, that at the end of there, you said that from the 2020 bond projects, there are several of those that are in design or they've been contracted, and another one of those, 2 of them that are in District 3 is the Carroll Lane also is going to be reconstructed. So that goes from reconstruct Carroll Lane from Holly Road to the dead end, and what is it? It's going to be $7.4 million. And then in addition, there's another $6.8 million on Galahar from Crosstown to Greenwood Drive. So that's my own stomping grounds. I went to Moody High School, so that was another one. One of the things also is we talked about parks with regard to the bond project. So it's $4.7 million over at the baseball fields. That's right there on Greenwood. I mean, that's huge. That's huge. And so we want to work with the community so we can figure that out. Hopefully we have some renderings for that very soon so we can kind of have an idea of where we're going. I'm trying to think of the other one. What is it? Okay. Okay. Well, I just wanted to strict on mine in particular, but in District 3. Okay. So yeah, $4.7 million for the city complex. We also Bonner from Everhart to Flynn, $4.2 million. Carroll Lane, Padres Island to Holly as well, $5.1 million, and then Martin Street, Holly to Dorado, $2.7 million. And then one other last thing is, the investment in libraries. I could tell you, and I don't know if it's a good thing or a bad thing for you folks, but my parents used to work downtown, and the La Retama Library was where the La Retama Park is. And I actually went to Corpus Christi Cathedral, and I lived at that library. And, you know, I read Edgar Rice Burroughs, Dumas, you know, I read way beyond the deal. And so I just want to, you know, I know there's money in for McDonald Library that's right there, what we used to call the Greenwood Library. And so, and then La Retama, where I spent a ton of time. So I'm really excited about that because that means a lot to educate our community. And I'll tell you one quick story and waste some time. Is I remember I have a cousin that's a teacher. Well, I got several of them that are, but one in particular. And there was a book that was required for a class for one of my children. And, you know, I went to back then they had Walden Books, before we had Amazon, you know, went to, what's the name of that, bookstore that's right there on SPID. Couldn't find it, yes, exactly. I couldn't find it anywhere. And she said, have you tried the library? Oh my God, how simplistic. So I think that's good that we as a community are providing those resources. And then on top of that, we've got a program that we're gonna work to be able to provide 5,000 hotspots in our budget, and we're working for various organizations with neighborhood services for individuals that don't have access to broadband. So I can't tell you enough how excited about that, because I remember, you know, I was blessed, my children went to Baker, they were in the Athena program, and I remember I said, we could afford internet, or we have a computer back then before laptops and iPads were a big deal. What happens if you can't afford it? So we're providing this access to children so that way they can ensure that they get their education. So with that, I guess I'm done with my little spiel. We'll be happy to take any questions. So, yes. Ms. Perone, you said you had some questions, so.
I just have a little, just comment.
Sure.
Just speak to the mic.
Oh, okay. Thank you. Can I stand up? Okay. All right. My name is Robin Perone, and I live at 6418 Coral Gables Drive. And I've been very happy to watch the median landscaping of the Ocean Drive corridor and the median landscaping of Yorktown Road. We bought our house in July of 1981 when we moved to Corpus Christi from Eastern Washington State. We had one reservation when we bought our house. Our property was right next to Saratoga Lane. We are the second house from the corner of Coral Gables and Saratoga. Saratoga was a 2-lane road with drainage areas on each side of an apparently country road. Our realtor explained to us that it was planned to be a larger road and that its proposed median strip would be a beautiful enhancement to the neighborhood. About a year or so after the road was complete, we reached out to our city council representative, not
in 1981.
this is probably by 85, and we asked her why was it not possible to have the plants and things that were promised in the median strip. And I'd like the council to consider the possibility of additional landscaping for Saratoga Boulevard. Such landscaping has been shown to provide a more peaceful driving experience. Thank you for giving me this opportunity to comment.
And thank you for your comment, Ms. Perone. Now, if somebody wants to correct me if I'm wrong, Gabe, that's maintained by TxDOT, correct? Texas Department of Transportation. But you know, as luck would have it, I was talking to Representative Abel Herrero on my way in over here over a separate issue. So I'm sure that if we get enough individuals that we can work on them the same way you would work on us. So I think that's an excellent idea. And you know, I have to give it to Peter and his team. They've really tried to provide more shrubs, more trees to have a greater experience. And I think it would improve the safety of that too, because it would enhance the median. So that's a great idea. Let me see what we can do, and keep me honest, keep me on it, and keep pushing me. So are there any other questions from here? Any on Facebook? Or Ms. Torres, nothing that you'd like to add?
Well, I was going to give everyone else a chance first.
Go ahead.
Yes, I'm D-Lynn Torres. I do live in District 2, but we were the original organization to follow through with Salinas Park while it was being built, and as soon as they finished, we stepped on those fields and have been working on them ever since. The complex is getting bigger and bigger. There's more individuals of all ages that want to be out there. I'm excited about renovating that walking path, because people will see me out there on Saturdays and Sundays in the infamous T-shirt and shorts or jeans, and they'll go, "Young lady, we need to talk to you about this walking path." And I went, let me give you the telephone number. So that is very exciting. Putting lights out there, because the park is open technically until 10 p.m. Well, it's pitch black out there at that time. So it's nice to know that the lighting is going to be added there. Per the bond, it says fields and walking path. So obviously we're interested in that part for the fields, because we do have so many teams that all ages, all the way from age 3 through 18. So the older ones do practice in the later part of the evening. So lights for them right now is being provided by the club through their fundraising efforts for light towers, but doesn't quite do the same as lights a little higher up on a pole. So, and then of course the fields themselves. So the playground, it's a great location, the splash pad, improving the walking path. Thank you so much for including all of those things, because we have teams that come to play there from all over South Texas, San Antonio, Laredo, and the Valley. So to be able to provide them with not only the enjoyment of playing the game that myself and all the others out there enjoy, but along with having a picnic afterwards, jumping on that splash pad to cool off afterwards. So again, thank you so much, and we do appreciate all your assistance.
Oh, thank you, and thank for all that you do. I can't tell you enough how much I appreciate it. Yes, very much. And you know, the resources that you provide, I provided you those aerial photos of the deal downtown, and so I think now staff is committed. You know, Peter had indicated too, and he's going to work with his department to ensure that there's a better coordination, because you're providing an attraction. And so we want to be able to complement that. I know, like, let's say, for example, on the McGee Beach deal, you're the one that coordinates the food trucks. And, you know, we have a list of vendors that we want to include, so that way we can complement your services, make it much more easier for the players, their families, and make it a much more enjoyable experience. And now, you know, I didn't think about that too. I've been out there twice. Since I've been a councilman, and was just amazed at all the families that are out there during when there's soccer games going on. So I think we should look at it from that same perspective, because they have tournaments, to see how we can complement it and not just having a park. And we could talk to our vendors and say, hey, are you aware that this is out there? So that way, once again, it's a better experience for the players and their families. So thank you so much for all you do. All right, Ms. Caballero, do you have anything? You're usually quiet.
Is it only 3 citizens and the rest are
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, I have a couple of questions. Okay, once we exceed in the drought 2 phase, the 3,000 gallons per residence, what's the fine?
Exceed the use, so that's an optional choice in the stage 2 that city council would have to approve, so that we're not talking about using that option right now.
But it's inevitable because you guys
No, it's
are
not
warning us
inevitable,
for
because
that.
council would have to approve it, so it's
So
inevitable.
what would the fee be? Is it $500 per fine plus the additional usage over 3,000 gallons for that month,
Yeah,
or?
it's not really a fine, but do you have the plan, Murphy, with you? A surcharge, right. Right.
What she's talking about is the fines for water restrictions, that's going to remain at $500.
Yeah, if you violate the water restrictions rule, right.
But what would the surcharge be?
Well, it would be based on volume, so.
After what you've exceeded the 3,000, or?
Well, here, let him finish.
Sure.
So if you go over.
Murphy, can you come up? 'Cause- yeah,
That
so
way
you-
people
yeah.
at home can hear you.
Right. This is Mike Murphy, our Chief Operating Officer over water utilities.
Thank you. It's a good question. So if you go over the 3,000, it kind of goes incrementally up after that, and it could at some point, like your that would be like a 50% reduction in your water consumption, because right now your water bill is based on a $6,000 basis for what you get per 6,000 gallons. That's what your flat fee is for, okay, per month. And so if we implemented the surcharge, we basically reduce that by half, which would be 3,000. So if you go over that, you would have to pay, and that's what you would be paying for your water bill. If you go over that, then depends on how much you go over it, we will watch that, and then the penalty would be incrementally assessed based on how much you go over 3,000.
So is it that plus the 500? or?
No, because those are two separate things.
Okay.
The surcharge is based on volume use. The restriction is based on irrigating outside of your allotted day. So in stage 2, you would be able to water your lawns once every 2 weeks on your recycling day, right? And so if you violate that, that's 500. And then if you do that plus go over your surcharge or the 3,000 amount, there would be probably 2 fines there. One would be assessed to your water bill, and one would be a citation.
Okay, can I make a request for handouts? We have a pretty substantial budget, so these, like, if you guys could hand out some information that we can look at outside of the videos, that would be fantastic.
Sure.
And the last thing
The
is,
budget's available online as well.
right, but if you try to print it, you know how many pages, like 200, almost 300 pages? Most people don't have home printers that are equipped to do that. Right, so if you guys could minimally give handouts
We
to,
have a one-pager. We can get you
Yeah.
one. We'll
well,
make sure you
it
get
should
it.
be handed out to the community, honestly.
Good, right, thank you.
Final, yeah, no problem. Final question, have we decided, and I don't know this for sure, is Gulf Coast Growth Ventures exempt or not exempt from the restrictions?
They are a large volume user, so
Right.
they follow the same policies that large volume
So their
water
exemption
use.
got approved?
No, there's no exemption.
There's no exemption.
Okay.
In fact, excuse me.
Yeah, go ahead.
Like I had indicated earlier, they're already prepaying. They're already prepaying, so they're going to continue to pay what they've been able to pay, because in essence, they've already added themselves that was part of the arrangement and the agreement that we made with them, is that you're going to start paying this penalty early, so that way we can ensure that we have affordable water for our citizens.
So final question, the income for that, where is it recorded in the budget?
Okay, it's in a separate, go ahead, I'll let you answer that.
It's in a separate fund. Do you know the name? Our budget director's there, so Eddie, what's that? Raw water, R-A-W, raw water surcharge. It's in a separate fund, so. So it's not on the budget? It's in the budget book. Yeah, it's in the budget book. Our budget director's here. He has the budget book with him. What page is that on, Eddie? Okay, we'll let you know, Ms. Caballero. He's looking right now. Okay. Well, while he's
wait.
looking, yeah, you want to say some concluding remarks?
Yeah, and well, I know, and I want to welcome one of our developers. I know he's building. How many homes are going to be in District 3 by the time you're done? Just in District 3 that you're building.
A lot. He said a lot.
That's about 3,000-4,000 more homes.
Okay, so that's 3,000 or 4,000. A lot of it is in the London area. What is it? So, thank you for your investment there. And what is it? Did you have any comments or questions?
No, I'm just here to listen.
Okay, well, thank you so much. So, did we find out what page that's on?
That's on page 116, it's the drought surcharge exemption fund. It brings in about $4.2, $4.5 million a year.
Okay, so how much do we have in it right now?
The fund balance was about almost 15 million.
Okay, the fund balance in there is about almost 15 million, and it generates about $4.5 million a year. And the higher volume water users are assessing that. Is that inclusive of the 5 cents that the other communities pay? And Constance is telling me no. And how much is in that one?
That one is, has about 18.5 million in it, the raw water supply development. It's on page 117 in the book.
Okay, so, and Ms. Caballero, I want to thank you for asking those questions because it helps us to clarify it. And so that way I want people to know that this is, and I have to give credit to past councils because this is I think the individuals that basically came up with that, Marvin Townsend was the one that came up with that raw water service charge. Am I correct in assuming so? Back in the 5 cents, the 5 cents. Yeah, the 5 cents, not the 25 cents. That one just came up, and that was generated by industry that they self-imposed because they recognize, hey, we're going to continue to grow. And I think from us on the council side, and I would agree with my colleagues, is that I think my colleagues would agree it keeps it affordable for the residential ratepayer. So with that, I want to thank everyone. Are there any questions on Facebook? All right. Well, with that, once again, thank you, staff. Thank you, Ms. Caballero, Ms. Torres, Mrs. Perón for coming. Always a pleasure to see your face at these events. And with that, I guess that we'll conclude. I'll let the city manager conclude. Thank you so much.
Yeah, I appreciate that, Councilman. Thank you for being the host for tonight's meeting. We're officially closed this meeting. We have 2 more next week, and is it Monday is the first one? Monday and then Wednesday, or Tuesday? Wednesday, right? Okay, Monday, Wednesday. So Monday's City Council District 4, and then Wednesday is City Council District 5. And the District 5 will be at the, what's that? No, District 5 will be at the high school. Huh? Yeah, Veterans. Veterans High School for District 5. District 4 will be at the Ethel Irely Community Center. And then also City Council next week, it's open. Ms. Caballero was there this morning, but they have several workshops in the budget next week, including Monday and Thursday. And then they have a City Council meeting on Tuesday. So we'll see everybody later. Thank you so much. Be safe driving home.